Is Southern as diverse as it claims to be?
Do we need diversity of mindset in addition to a diverse demographic?
Consider this conversation ignited.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Ignite. My name is Elise and who are you?
Hey guys, my name is Erin Patterson. Sorry. My name is Maria Hernandez, and I am a sophomore out of the SJC.
This is your first time on camera for Ignite. Usually we see you, or rather we don't see you as you are offset. What's your official role for Ignite?
Yeah, I am actually the co-producer for Ignite, and it was just Erin's bright idea to have me host today.
Classic Erin. Thank you, Erin. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh yeah, I am a sophomore, as I already said, and I am a media production major here at the SJC.
Lovely. What are we talking about today?
So today, actually, we're gonna have one of our favorite professors, and we're gonna talk a little bit about diversity on campus.
Professor Johnson will be joining us today as we talk about diversity here at Southern.
But before we go to our guest, Clarissa asked a few of you guys what you think about diversity on campus.
Clarissa, take it away.
This is Clarissa on the Promenade, and today we're going to see what students think about diversity at Southern. Do you think Southern is racially diverse?
I think so, yeah. I have a lot of friends who are racially diverse as well, and there's a good handful. We would like more, yes.
I think Southern has a lot of diversity. You see people here from international countries, so I think that's a really cool thing when you meet different students. When I go across my day, sometimes I do meet people, but not very often. So it's mainly the groups that you usually see, like Hispanics, Asian, Black, is usually what I see around campus, and then a few other people from other countries.
I think it is on paper, but I think some areas of campus can be a little bit more monochromatic.
I believe so. You can't walk down the campus and see so many cultures and races, you know.
Yeah, I think so, for the most part, that I can tell.
It is. It has. You definitely have a lot of different ethnicities on campus. Yeah.
Yes, I would definitely say so. Yes.
Do you think students at Southern are ideologically diverse as well?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so too. Yeah.
I feel like most students are always interested in meeting somebody new from someone in, somewhere different or someone from a different country. But sometimes I guess people are kind of comfortable in the groups of people they already know. So I feel like for them to know somebody else, it's taking a big step. But after that, I think people do like to communicate and meet other people here on campus. So yeah.
I believe so. I mean, the clubs, the people's personalities. I room with somebody who has a strong Hispanic culture, and the pride that people have for their culture. I feel like there's not one culture. It's diverse, and we all come together as Adventists to worship God, I think. So.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of people who come with different mindsets and different ideas when they enter campus, and then some of those change when they get here, but some might stay the same for the most part.
I think yes, but there's some base things that are pretty common. Most of us have some form of an Adventist worldview. But you can find a lot of people who believe a lot of different things here and who think a lot of different ways if you're willing to look. I think sometimes the loudest people may make it seem like there's only one way that Southern is, or the most out there, most on stage type of people. But there's a lot of different people at Southern, a lot of people who may not get out as much, but they're still there and they have ideas and thoughts that are different too. So.
I think from last year, it has been a good spark for people to actually be aware of being diverse in a lot of cultures. But I think right now there's still a little bit more progress. But yeah, there's a good handful that they're ideologically diverse.
Okay.
There are a lot of different ideas on campus, and if you're looking for someone that might be like-minded, you can definitely find some, though it might be a little bit more difficult. But it's pretty good on an average, yeah.
Do you like diversity at Southern?
Of course, because if you had the same type of group all the time, then it would be kind of boring. So therefore, it's fun because you get to meet different people, and also you get to know other things that you would have never known before.
Yes, like I don't know, when I was like touring universities, definitely this one was like the most diverse, and yeah, chose it because of that.
That's great. That's great.
I think so. I think it opens our mind. I think my mind has been opened by being introduced to cultures. I come from a very German background, and to see the passion, like Latin American and Asian Americans, their cultures and where they come from, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I like it. It's not, you have all different people from different places internationally and locally, so it's a good mix.
Absolutely. It's great that there's so many people here who look like me and who don't look like me, and that I can always meet people from all over the place who have different backgrounds and ideas and whatnot and values. And I think it's like you can learn so much from people here. So
I do. I really do. I love the diversity, the different clubs, and the different foods. I just love learning about other people from other parts of the world.
I've been blessed with organizations that are very diverse, yes, the ones that I'm a part of.
As you can see, we had a variety of diverse opinions on the promenade.
Professor Johnson, thank you so much for joining us here today. For those who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm Alva Johnson. I'm a professor in the School of Journalism and Communication. I've been here for 3 years. I can't believe it. Actually, it's a little more than 3 years. And I had been a newspaper reporter for 30-something years before I joined the staff. And so it's a pleasure to be here. Thank
Pleasure
you
to
for
have
having me.
you.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you. So, can you tell us a little bit about the work you did with the Investigating Diversity study?
Sure. We had an interactive journalism class in 2019, and the students had to come up with a project where they could tell a story using interactives. And so I co-taught the class with Ryan Harrell, and the students want to investigate diversity because we are part of such a diverse denomination. So that was the topic that was chosen, and they did an awesome job.
That's awesome. When it comes to diversity, how important is it to have a diversity of mindset in a space in addition to a diverse demographic?
That's a very good question. Well, I think diversity of thought is very important. God didn't make us all the same, right? He made us as independent thinkers. And Ellen White says that we should not be mere reflectors of other men's thoughts. And so I think it's very important for us to, when we have different people from different backgrounds, we come with different thoughts, different ideas, and it's very important to have diversity of thought. In the world that we live in right now, we have so many people that are in echo chambers. They are around people that think just like them. Maybe some of your social media friends, on Facebook, everybody thinks the same. And so sometimes we get an unbalanced view of the world because we are not broad enough with the people that we're interacting with. And I think that may be some of the reason why we have some of the problems that we have in our society today.
Right. What are some of the benefits of having diversity within an organization? Or why is diversity important?
Well, because people come from different backgrounds, right? We're not all the same. And I think God made us that way for a reason, because we balance each other out. So it's good to have people from different backgrounds because they can bring perspectives to an organization that other people in that organization may not have. It helps us to have a better view of the world. Like I said, a more balanced view of the world. A lot of times we demonize groups of people because we really don't know them.
Right.
Right? We have to take the time to get to know people, get to know people's stories. And so I think that that's really important. I know in the field of communication, I worked in newsrooms over the years where that was so important. And some of the newsrooms didn't have a lot of diversity, and yet they were covering communities. When you think of a lot of crime stories, for example, a lot of crime stories were coming out of the minority communities, and yet you had a staff that was predominantly white. So sometimes there's some biases. People are subjective sometimes in what they decide should be the news, what should be the lead story, how the news is covered. So news organizations began to see that there really is a need to have a diversity of staff so that you can have people from different perspectives so they can make better decisions about how they're going to cover the news because it impacts communities.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if majority of Southern's campus is Adventist, how much room is there for diversity of thought?
Well, I think we already have a lot of diversity of thought. When you think of the Adventist Church right now, you have people across the spectrum. You have people that are ultra-conservative. You have people who are more on the liberal end of the spectrum. You have people who are more moderate. We already have that in our church. And in fact, that's why we're so divided on a lot of issues. But I don't think it should bring about division. I think if we learn to better understand one another and realize that it's okay for people to think a little different from you, there's nothing wrong with that. God created us that way. That's why he gave us freedom of choice. That's why he gave us brains to think independently. He doesn't want us to just be followers, but we should really be thinking, and we should be following our conscience. So I like the fact that the Adventist Church does allow for that. Politically, it doesn't say, well, you have to be Republican, you have to be Democrat. We are part of a denomination that allows for diversity of thought, and I think that is fully expressed on this campus.
I actually agree. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, how would you recommend the people approach others with a different mindset?
Be very diplomatic. But I think it starts with just wanting to connect with other human beings.
Right.
Respecting each person. And I think we should be willing to step outside of our comfort zones. I think more of us need to step outside of our comfort zones. We need to approach people and just want to know who they are. Who are you? Where are you from? Tell me about your background. Right? I think it just starts with just wanting to connect with people, being curious. And I don't see enough of that. I think that we tend to just be comfortable with people who are like us. Mm-hmm. And we need to learn to be more comfortable with people who aren't like us. I would like to see more people, we have a denomination right now where we do have the churches. We have black churches. We have, historically, there have been white churches. I would like to see more white people attending black churches, more black people attending white churches. Worshiping sometimes where you may be the minority in the group. I think minorities are accustomed to that, but the majority culture is not. But I think we should all do it because it will broaden our perspective.
What sort of steps could people take to actually go about doing that?
Just step outside of what you normally do.
Right.
And say, you know what, this Sabbath, I'm going to go to the church down the street that I had passed by a million times and never even went in there to visit. I mean, there's so many, I've lived in cities where there's so many Adventist churches, and it surprises me that there's really no interaction between the pastors. There's, people are not visiting churches if it's outside of their culture. Well, we need to go beyond that. We need to stop sometimes and pause and say, well, this Sabbath, maybe I will try this particular culture and this church because maybe there's something I can learn.
Thank you so much. That's all of the questions that we have for you. Thank you for coming and joining us here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of Ignite. This is actually our last serious episode of the season. If you haven't noticed, we're quite festive here and have a Christmas special for you guys next week.
Yeah. And if you haven't liked this video, go ahead and like it, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And while you're at it, you can also go to our Instagram account, follow us there, and check out our IGTV, where we have more content.
We sure do. Bye, guys.
Bye.